Hey guys, Ben here with H90 Productions, and welcome to the H90 Productions podcast, where I give you updates on everything that's happening with my little DIY production company, H90 Productions. It is Sunday, December 14th. It has been the last update, if I'm not mistaken, was 3 weeks ago. And it has been an absolutely, we're going to hold for sirens. There's a bunch of sirens flying by right now. The last 2-3 weeks have been absolutely insane. Again, with work and with life. You know, this time of year, I feel like in the past has slowed down a little bit, but for whatever reason this year, it has been just picking up and just like picking up steam rolling into the end of the year. So I haven't been, again, working on Mango 2 as much as I think this was similar to the last update. I haven't been working on Mango 2 as much as I would like, just been dealing with some other stuff. But there has been a big breakthrough with Mango 2, which I'm really excited about. So in terms of just like not being able to work on Mango 2 as much as I'd like, that was a similar theme from last time. And I just have to keep reminding myself this is part of the process. And I guess in a way, it's been a little bit fortunate because the last 2 weeks I've been thinking a lot about the story, and that's where the breakthrough happened. So I guess there wasn't a lot of like hands-on keys that was happening anyway in terms of editing. One thing that I wish I could have worked on more was like the behind the scenes stuff from Mango 1, which is a big part of laying the foundation before Mango 2 rolls out. But there's been a lot of like brainstorming, tinkering. So to catch you up from where I'm at with the post-production process, I'm in post-production right now on Mango 2, and I've gotten to a point where I have the whole edit in a master timeline. So I started out with my scenes, my individual scenes. I put those into reels, and then I put the reels into a master timeline. So there's 6 reels. And I've listened to it a couple times. In fact, I was just away on a work trip, and I downloaded it on my phone, and I was listening to it on the plane. And I just like, basically what happened was halfway through, like it starts falling apart. Not falling apart might be strong, but it just, there's something about the second half just wasn't working. And so I went back to the drawing board a bit, and just friendly reminder, I've recorded with, all the actors. I've recorded a lot of my stuff. This rough cut I have that I was telling you about is some scenes are more complete than others. Some scenes are just like me recording some stuff, like playing some of the other characters just to have something in the timeline. And, I realized there was something I needed in the second half of the story. And I'm really excited to say I figured out what that was. And in fact, this morning I had like a major breakthrough, like really big kind of story breakthrough. Now I'm not like, I don't have to redo a ton of stuff. It's nothing like that. The kind of basic idea of the whole thing is there. It just needed something. And it was a small thing at first, but man, this has like turned into a really big, like kind of game changer for this whole story. And when Mango 2 is released, I will circle back to this moment right here. I'll pull this clip on December 14th and say that this was the moment, like this whole thing just went up another level. I wish I could say more about what exactly that is, but that's going to give away too much of kind of what Mango 2 is about. And I'm torn about whether I should share some of that, but I feel like I need to keep some of that cat in the bag. Case in point, things are changing. It's kind of a fluid thing. And anyway, I just can't wait to, I can't wait to come back to this moment and be like, this was the moment. Remember I was talking about that? Like, this is like, so like this kind of changed everything. There is a new character. So that adds a lot to the story of what's going on here. And I guess the one thing I will say about it, it's a really fun kind of like sound design thing with this character. I'll give you that little bit of information. It is when you hear it, eventually you'll be like, oh yeah, wow, that wasn't in the first pass, the first script of first few scripts of Mango 2. Wow, that's kind of hard to believe. And yeah, I'm telling myself that too. I'm like, how did I not think of this before? But that is a theme of this update, is that this process is messy, and I'm not sure how much we hear about that from other productions and other films. And I guess there is one that stands out. Back to the Future, they recast the role of Marty McFly. They started out with a whole nother actor in that, and that's a big one that gives me I'll reference that. I'm like, yeah, they even did it in Back to the Future. They didn't even have the right actor, and they recast. And I'm sure there are a lot of examples like that. But I'm talking about like every single like filmmaking is like it's a creative process, just like any other creative process. Like when you paint something, you don't just throw paint on the canvas and you have a painting. You figure it out, and that's what I'm realizing my process is. And Mango 1 was much messier than Mango 2 is. Mango 2 is much cleaner because I kind of know what the world is, and I learned a lot on Mango 1, and I'm learning a lot on Mango 2, but this is a reason why I had kind of pickup sessions kind of in place. And I told the actors, like, listen, we are going to have pickup sessions down the line, because I knew that, like, yeah, once I put things into the timeline and I listen to it, like things can and will change. Now, I don't think you want to like rely on that I don't want to rely on that approach for all my projects, but it's kind of like, I don't know, man. Like when I listen to it and something's not working, I have to change it. I have to fix it. I'm not just going to keep going in that direction. And so it's led me to kind of think, maybe on Mango 3, what I will do, because the temp recording stuff I'm doing is really helping. Like I'm writing stuff, I'm recording it kind of just with my own voice and throwing it in there and feeling it out. It's kind of like what they say, how the sausage is made and how the mango is made. It's not pretty. And I'm thinking about maybe for Mango 3, what I would do is like temp record a lot of it before we even record anything. Maybe I would just temp record the lines I can temp record, which is like Mango is a big part of it, which that's great for me because I can just do his lines real quick and throw them in and see if it's working. But even for other characters, maybe I would just hire some friends or get some friends to do some temp recordings into their phone or anything and send it to me, and then I can drop it in and see if it's working. That's kind of something I'm learning that maybe I will apply to Mango 3 and make Mango 3 better and more efficient, because there's like so much I've there's so much I've learned about this story after dropping in all the recordings from the stuff we did earlier this year. So I don't know. I'm kind of torn about that because a lot of it still works. Like I'm it's not like I'm redoing the whole Mango 2 thing, and it does help to have the actual actors' recordings in there. And that's the cool thing about audio is it's really not that hard to go pick stuff up again. It's not like that. That's what I would be worried about if I was making a live action film is, I mean, I guess they do that too, right? Don't they do like kind of test shoots and rehearsals and they'll shoot some stuff and see if it works? Yeah, there is a lot of that happens. So you know what? I am gonna not feel bad about this and understand that like this is just part of the process, and it's going to make it so much better. And that's kind of the fun but scary thing about sharing this right now is like talking about it while it's happening. Maybe, I don't know how many people do that, like being open about during the process. I understand after the process, but I would be willing to bet there's most of the directors out there don't want to be talking about their process during the process, because it is kind of, there is some pressure there. There's some added pressure, but geez, these motorcycles out here. If you hadn't noticed, I live like right on a kind of a main boulevard here in Los Angeles. But I don't know. I think for me, it's kind of fun to share that. And I really think about when I come back to these moments, like when Mango 2 is released, I'm going to come back to this podcast December 14th and just be like, see, I was talking about this then. You're not crazy. Like it's kind of a, maybe these are a little bit like therapy sessions. I think I've mentioned that in the past, but so major breakthrough for Mango 2. One more thing I want to add before I jump off here. It might actually be under 10 minutes, is that I am going to be pulling back a little bit from like the behind the scenes stuff I've been sharing. So up to this point, and this has just been the first year I've been doing this on the YouTube channel, is I've been posting up 2 to 3 shorts a week and then a full length video every week on the YouTube channel, just to kind of start it up and get it going. My goal was to have enough content there that when Mango 2 is released, whoever watches Mango 2, and assuming they, if they like it, they can come and see all the other stuff from Mango 1 and say, oh, wow, there's this whole world here, H90. They're showing us how they did it. And there's also Mango 1 there. So cool. So that was the whole point of that. And I think I'm getting to the point where I've kind of stocked it up enough. And I wish I could be working on it more. There's so much to share from Mango 1, and there's so much behind the scenes stuff to share. But I only have so much bandwidth, especially with work and life and everything. So I kind of have to pull some of that bandwidth over to Mango 2 and go full in on Mango 2. So the plan right now is to maybe do one short a week. I have one more making a video I would like to get up, which it doesn't complete that story, but it adds enough there where I feel like I'm like, okay, I can step away from that. It's Hannah McBride's audition for the role of Summer Cassidy in Mango Dead series. I really would like to get that making a video up, so that kind of making of series has like a full story arc in there. It has, the main characters' auditions and their recording sessions. And I mean, there's so much more to share. Like, I can't wait. And I might have to get some help with that down the line, because when Mango 2 goes out, I'm going to do the whole thing with Mango 2, like all the behind the scenes stuff. It's going to be wild. So maybe eventually we'll get some help with that behind the scenes stuff, so I can continue to grow the H90 channels, which is really, I mean, gosh, this first year my expectations, it's gone up above the results of let's call it the H90 channel, the YouTube channel, because that's really the main hub of all the stuff. The results have gone above and beyond my expectations. I mean, we're at over 4,000 subscribers, and the amount of views, the amount of watch hours, it's just kind of wild. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, I'm so grateful, and it's just the beginning. Like, this isn't even, I haven't even like done any marketing for Mango, like the series. I haven't even, gotten it in front of other people, whether it's on podcasts or submitted it to things, or because I'm waiting to finish Mango 2. And so when Mango 2 hits, I feel like it's going to be, there's going to be some momentum there. And there's just so much more to come to the channel. I mean, Mango 2 and then Mango 3 is definitely something I want to do to kind of have a first trilogy, I guess, in this world. And then I already have ideas for Mango 4, Mango 5, Mango 6, and spoiler alert, there could be a spinoff. Ooh, that's the first time I've mentioned that. That is, if you've been listening to this the whole time, that's a little secret for you, is that I have an idea for a spinoff that would include one of the characters from Mango 1. So we get kind of like six seasons of Mango, and then we do a spinoff. Oh, that would be so amazing, so exciting. Would definitely need help with that, but that's kind of the vision, to get bigger, grow, and just keep having fun with this. So that's the update for this week. Really appreciate you being here. And I'll see you, hopefully, you know what? I'm going to do my best to do one more of these before the end of the year, so we can kind of do a recap. We can talk about all the things that happened in 2025. Big year for this channel. First year. I started this YouTube channel in October of 2024, but that was just when I turned the lights on. I didn't start committing to the content until January of this year. And it's only been a year. And look how much we've done. And again, if you're still listening, really appreciate you following along here. And until next time, stay safe, stay tuned, and thanks for watching.